Hello, I'm Hannah Woolmer and this is my second video on the romance. This time, on this practice, I'm going to look at small sections of the piece in detail, and I'll just show a few ways I work through and problem solve on areas that perhaps need a little bit more fine tuning. So usually once I've looked through a piece, then on the second rehearsal, hopefully by now I've got a few more bowings and ideas marked in, and on the second rehearsal I will have a quick playthrough and just really tackle those problem areas, perhaps 2 or 3 playthroughs of the whole piece which I've already done, and I've circled on my part the areas that I want to play through. I'll just give you a quick recap of the melody so that you're aware of what I'll be playing. So that's the main theme from the waltz, and as it goes through. The area I'm going to work on, first of all, it has some shifting in it, and it's where the melody starts to develop. So it starts again on the higher, just ending that phrase. Then we progress. And I go to a high F there, but as you hear, that wasn't really clear, perhaps. So I'm just going to work on that shift now from. Just get that interval from the A to. And what I actually do is I try and get my lower finger to shift to the lower note, which in this case will be a C natural. So now if I check that from the beginning of that phrase, which starts on an up bow. Still not there, so I'll try it 2 more times. It got there so much better that time. Now we can have a little bit of portamento because of the period of the piece. If it was something like, say, Bach, Mozart, we'd cut down on that. Now the next thing we have to do when we're shifting like that is make sure that all our lower fingers are in the correct place. Now I said C natural earlier on, it should be in C sharp, because if I look at this next phrase, and you can see my first finger is on that C sharp, so I have to make sure they're all prepared before that shift, or as the shift goes on. I just do in slow motion. And then what I will normally do is work through that, perhaps slowly isolating the shifts and making sure the fingers are there. Now I'm going to move on a little bit further. And there's some more shifting in that passage, which again I will isolate. I'm going to move on a little bit further to there's some rhythmical passages which come up, I think, at the change of key. So we've got the change of key now, which is gone to A major. Now that chromatic passage, I can just work on that a little bit more, and that is more to do less the bow and more the fingers, just making sure they're nice and free. So if I put that into place with the whole of that section. And now I'm going to have to introduce a bit more bow, because now those fingers are freed up, I really want the bow to keep on going through. Now if I could just make that a tiny bit more. So let's try that whole passage. And as you can see, this is how I start to develop a piece. The next stage I'll probably go back through it again, starting from the beginning, seeing how the two different sections come together. My next thing will be working on the double stop passages. I'll quickly work on that a tiny bit from you, but I think I'm running out of time. So when the melody returns, oh no, at the end of this passage we have some double stopping, and it will be from this section. Again, the repeat of that melody. Then we got this B sharp. And as you can hear, it's got to be so clear. With vibrato, perhaps you can get away with Evers, but you don't really want to. So, the way to tune up a double stop, this is on a B sharp. Did I say D sharp? I always like to get the weight of the arm hanging from the full finger. And then we can just ease back from the lower hand. But it's good to keep the weight into here so that you're not overextending the full finger and creating tension down there, and then you've got a whole tense hand. So from that B sharp with the weight in here, and I can overextend back, move forward, and just hear that's clear and tuned. Now another thing I could do to check that tuning is start on the hi-hat. And just ease the lower finger. Another thing to bear in mind when you're doing an octave double stop is that the intervals get closer and closer together. So just to keep that freedom in the hand, if we're only putting the weight in the back of the hand, you're creating a lot of tension there. So make sure that the weight's hanging down from this part of the hand, and then we're nice and free there, and we can move around to keep that really nicely in tune. And finally, the beautiful melancholy melody from the opening returns. And that is just a quick look at how I problem solve on a piece. Thank you ever so much for stopping by my channel. I hope you'll watch more, and please go ahead and subscribe to keep up with everything I'm doing. Thank you very much, and goodbye.